Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different video, still on 380 ACP, but we're going to be looking at the reliability of the Smith Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 and maybe looking at some of the ammo that causes most of the malfunctions and see if there's something we can do about it. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. All right, so what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about some of the ammunition that has caused issues and reliability problems with my Bodyguard 2.0. Bodyguard 2.0, awesome pistol, very easy to conceal. I feel like it's especially revolutionizing the pocket carry. So it's just a small gun that fits in, has great capacity, 10 and 12 round magazines. And its ergonomics are such that someone who is an average person like me, not some kind of Sasquatch, can get 3 fingers on the grip. It's got a great high undercut under the trigger and then has a very low bore axis for cycling around. So it just is an ergonomically excellent pistol, very lightweight, and with a capacity of 10-12 rounds coming out of your 380 ACP, maybe some of your concerns about carrying a 380 ACP are alleviated. Again, when I can carry a 9, I carry a 9. When I can carry something bigger, I carry something bigger. But there are times when you want that extra deep concealment. That's when the Bodyguard 2.0 might be good for you. Now, I've had the LCP Max in the past. It just didn't work with me. It had great capacity. It had great function, but it hurt to shoot. Like it was not pleasant for me, and the gun that I had, it was not pleasant to shoot. So with all of that said, I fell in love with the Bodyguard 2.0. We've done a whole series of videos on it, but as we've been testing self-defense ammunition, we also kind of came up with, gosh, sometimes this thing is not reliable. Why is that? Well, we've talked about feed ramps. We've also talked about the recoil spring. And sometimes the recoil spring can overcome the end of the guide rod, and then it causes a jam. I've also had problems with this Defiant Munitions, where I think the ammunition in my chamber is just slightly out of spec. At least that's my theory. We're going to test that a little bit today. So we're going to run some of the ammunition that have been causing us problems today, just kind of talk about them, what some of the issues are. Smith Wesson at the time when I first looked at it didn't even sell a replacement spring and guide rod, and if it did, might it have the same issues. So I'm happy to report that Galloway Precision now has a factory or a new guide rod and spring. It's a metal guide rod, and so we're just going to see if that performs a little bit better, that their design does just a little bit better on that. So we'll see with this ammunition that we've been having a hard time with. We're going to run it again in my Bodyguard, see if we can repeat some of those failures, and then we're going to run it with the new Galloway Precision guide rod and spring and see if we can see if it gives us some improvements. Now, I don't have like 100 rounds of each of these to test that, so we may get some of these repeat failures and then we may not. And then also, even if it does work, it may not still be something that you can rely on, because this isn't a sufficient enough data set to judge reliability off of it. So with that said, let's get to shooting. First up, we have the Defiant Munitions 80 grain. It performed extremely well. They call it a TCX. It's like total copper expander or something like that. It performed extremely well in gel, but did not run the Bodyguard 2.0. I've got a few rounds in it so we can just demonstrate that again for this video. And we have a dead trigger. So yes, there is more rounds in it. The gun is locked. And the only way that I've found is give it a little judge or a little banging, and then that loosens it up. Someone in my comments on a previous video said that the bullet is getting stuck between the 2 feed ramps. That could be happening. So the guide rod and spring may not help that out. In a previous video, I showed that TCX ammunition didn't work well in the Bodyguard 2.0. Question is it the ammo? Is it the gun? Well, I have my Ruger Security 380, so this increases our sample size to at least 2. Load around. Again, Defiant Munitions. We'll see how we do. works just fine. The Ruger Security 380, I've not had any issues with the Ruger Security 380. So that again tells me, and even though that ammunition from Defiant Munitions is a little bit longer, it's still within spec of 380 ACP. So that was my suspicion, is that there probably is some issue with the tolerance in the Bodyguard 2.0. Okay, next up, let's move to some Buffalo Bore 100 grain hard cast plus P. Now again, I can't remember if it's the Underwood or the hard cast, so we'll just or the Buffalo Bore, so we'll just test both on which of those I was having issues with. But I think it's important to maybe try out both of these. Again, yeah, so the Buffalo Bore is plus P, and there are going to be some people in the comments say this gun is not rated for plus P ammunition. I know that. I've talked about that in many, many videos. People who've been watching the series are going to be sick of me talking about that, but I feel like I have enough people coming into the comments having watched one video and say, you can't shoot that in there. Buffalo Bore talks about it. It's safe to shoot it. You don't do a healthy diet of it. It will fatigue the gun and cause your parts to wear earlier. However, what you might do is carry a regular ammunition and then carry plus P for just those self-defense times. I think it's fine to shoot it occasionally. I agree that I personally don't really like the plus P rounds either myself, but I think for testing and other people are going to run it, so I think it's important to show it. So as we're doing experimentation here, loading up around, again, Buffalo Bore 100 grain plus P. Well, and I had no issues with any of those, and dang, you can feel that those suckers are moving. As I tested in a gel test, they just plowed right through the gel. Let me get up my Underwood hard cast. Now that I'm thinking about it, it probably was the Underwood that I had issues with. Let's load some of that up, give it a shot, see if it'll work. We'll see how it runs. Again, small sample sizes. I wasn't expecting errors to be found in each of these. Seemed to run just fine. Let's move on to some of that 68 grain Underwood Extreme Defender. Now what I will say is that I have done a fair amount of polishing on both feed ramps. There's a feed ramp on the barrel, there's a feed ramp on the frame, and I have polished both of those. Even after I did that, I ran 2 boxes. I was so excited, I was sure that this was going to work. I ran 2 boxes of Underwood Extreme Defender, and I got 1 failure out of 2 boxes. So with these 10 rounds that I'm going to shoot now, it may not show it, but I have had issues with these. And so at any rate, this is one of the ones that my Bodyguard sometimes doesn't like. Sure enough, failure, failure, failure. Failure, failure. Now everyone was really pretty excited about this out of the Bodyguard because it's an external hollow point. To show it, it's fluted like this. So it's solid. So one of the things that traditionally people run in their 380 ACP is FMJ. This will do just a little bit more damage because of the flutes on it. But yet you're not relying on expansion, which sometimes is questionable out of 380 ACP. So everyone really wants this to work. I forgot, I probably should have showed this earlier, but this is that TXP or TCX bullet from Defiant Munitions. You can see it's kind of a little bit of a longer, well, it definitely is rounded up here further and tapers less than some of the other rounds that I have. Let me compare it real quick. Let me compare it to a Federal Hydroshock Deep bullet. See how the cone tapers a little bit better on the Hydroshock Deep versus that TCX. I think that could be one of the issues with it that's going on. But, so I think bullet shape, it does have an impact on the reliability, and I think that's more related to the feed ramps than it will be to the recoil spring. But just to show that it works, I'm going to fire that ammunition out of the Ruger Security 380. Just so that you can see that the Underwood Extreme Defenders are not a bad round. It's more about this Bodyguard having issues in and of itself. So we have the Security 380. We'll see how we do with shooting this Extreme Defender bullet. Yeah, no issues. and I've never had issues with it. So again, that's one of the downsides of the Bodyguard. But taking a look at these two pistols, like this is the size of a 9mm, like a big 9mm. Not, I mean, not a big one, but like a compact 9mm, not a micro 9. This is like a sub micro 9. So that's what you're trading off. And so I've had some people comment, well, I'm never buying the Bodyguard. Okay, that's fine, but there is ammunition that runs just fine in the Bodyguard that's, I think, is acceptable. So you just have to try that out. So is the trade-off worth it for you is the question. Here's a quick look at these two recoil springs. This is the new one from Galloway Precision. This is the one from Smith Wesson. As you can see, it's kind of a double stack recoil spring versus this is more of a traditional type. So we'll see how it performs, see if it makes a difference. Okay, so first up, I have the recoil spring in now from Galloway. Can't show that on YouTube. It's just normal maintenance, normal repair type stuff. Springs expire. But what we have the Galloway Precision recoil spring in, and now I have some Federal Hydroshock Deep. That's just always run for me. The only issue I ever have is I fat hand the slide stop. I'll try to not do that as I'm shooting. But so I just want to test function with that new recoil spring with something that I know that works. So here we go. I don't think I hit that, but I do sometimes get that it does not give me slide lock with that ammunition. It's kind of an underpowered ammunition, but it does super well in gel. Well, it does good enough. We're not, no 380 ACP ammunition does super well, okay? Okay, next up, we are going with the Defiant Munitions. We can't ever shoot more than like 3 or 4 rounds. Usually it's every round that has a failure. I'm guessing, what's your prediction in the comments? Is this gonna work or is it not gonna work? And then we'll see what turns out to be true. My guess is it's more feed ramp and bullet shape issue than it is something to do with the recoil spring, but you know, we'll try it out. I hope it works. I hope this recoil spring solves all my issues and I never have a single problem again. Wouldn't that be amazing? And we started off, it's already jammed. You heard the trigger push? And it didn't even get a strike. It's whatever, whoever's point is probably right. Although I can see that the round is chambered. It's not stuck between the feed lips. So it is jammed. So this, I'm really interested to hear if other people have. Actually, I think I did. Someone in my comment section did say that it ran fine in their Bodyguard 2.0. For whatever reason, the chamber tolerance on my Bodyguard, it is not working. There we go, it's out. All right, I am at a range. There's no one around me. This is a private club, so it is safe. And I am trying to aim when I'm doing that on the table against someplace else, or against away from me. All right, so hey, that's a no-go on fixing that problem. Let's see what we do with some of this other ammunition. We didn't have any issues when we demonstrated it with this hard cast, but let's run another few from the Buffalo Bore and see if it just runs now. This plus P, I'm gonna get all sorts of comments on it, but you know, if you want to live your life uncriticized, then it's gonna be a boring life. Yeah, I thought that was all I had, but again, no slide lock back. So that works just fine. Let's try some of this Underwood. All right, 100 grain Underwood. All right, no lock back again, but ran all of those. Galloway Precision, it's not doing harm, right? It's running on everything that it should. Now we'll put it to the test. We've got 6 rounds of this Extreme Defender bullet. Again, this bullet looks like that. I didn't show our cherry. This is our Underwood hard cast, and this is our Buffalo Bore hard cast. All right, yeah, they call it cherry because of the coating on it, so that's what I was referring to. The Underwood has a coating versus the Buffalo Bore. Tim Sundle's put his thing. It's a hard cast lead, but that's an alloy. All hard casts are alloys. It just has a super hardness factor, and it's not going to gunk up your gun like an old traditional lead bullet would. Okay, well, we got 6 rounds from that Extreme Defender 68 grain. We remember it was on round 3. Again, it may be fine, and then I may shoot another box and it's not fine. I was in the old ammo storage bin this morning, digging through, trying to find as much as I could. What I do have, if we don't get a failure, is I've got some platinum coated rounds. Everyone's been telling me to try the platinum, try the platinum. So I will try the platinum, but is it the platinum coating on the Extreme Defender that makes it work better, or you know, that kind of changes our test. So hopefully this just runs and we never have issues again, but we'll see. One shot. And stuck on the, it's really stuck on the feed ramp if you look in there. I don't know if you guys can see that well enough, but it's getting hung up in between the two. This is definitely getting hung up in between the two feed lips. Now, I have tested G9, and that seems to work. I've also tested that, oh man, I can't remember. At any rate, it's with the Norma round. It's got a real kind of synthetic, and it's also fluted like this Underwood round is. I didn't have issues with that. Again, I really feel like it's bullet shape and issues that you have with the 2 feed ramp system in my gun. Other people have had similar issues. Other people, this ammunition runs just great. So if it is a feed ramp issue that we see and it's not a spring issue, then why don't we test out these platinum? Ooh, platinum. Golly, trigger bar, like this is super fancy. We're not just winning copper medals, we're winning platinum medals now. All right, we'll try out the platinum now. Okay, we got platinum and it's stuck on the feed ramp. All right. I don't think this isn't a good start. This isn't a good start. Platinum, loaded, okay. Here we go. Platinum, it's the shape of the bullet, guys. It's not the coating on the bullet. So, platinum's a no-go. And that is, it's getting jammed between the back of the chamber and the feed lip, and is not recoil spring related. This is related to my chambering, my feed ramps, which I have polished. People say you should polish them. I have polished them. I've actually polished them multiple times. Could I polish more? Yes, I can, and probably will. But like, you shouldn't have to do that out of the box. So like, this whole video is a little bit of, I love the Bodyguard 2.0 and Smith Wesson, you guys suck. Like, get your crap together and get your stuff to work. Like, there's something in, you know, I don't know, the shape and design or the quality control and the tolerances or something going on that this stuff needs to work. Now, what I haven't tried is the platinum in the Ruger Security 380, because maybe just the platinum sucks. Like, that ammunition sucks, trigger bar. You can see the comment now. So we're going to try this ammunition with the Ruger Security 380, see how it runs, and then we'll know that platinum is the bomb.com. But we also know that it doesn't help your feeding issues with the Bodyguard 2.0. So by the way, this Ruger Security 380 is one above the funnest guns to shoot on the planet, because it's just basically, it's a full-size gun in 380, so there's no recoil. It's a light rack, so it's super light to rack. So for those of us that are getting older, which is all of you, even though if you're young, you think you never will, it's very easy to rack and load rounds into the magazine. So it's just super nice. Like this is a good gun. I just can't pocket carry it very easy. And then 15 rounds with the extended cylinder. But here's the crazy thing. Like, look at these two things. This gun is massive, but who's 5'11", large style gloves. When I buy gloves, I buy large or extra large, depending on the glove. I can't get my bottom finger on there. I'm not Sasquatch. Some of you out there are Sasquatch. But on the Bodyguard 2.0, I can get my bottom finger on it. It's ergonomics. It's design of the gun. Okay, well, let's wrap things up. Hopefully you all had fun. I had fun in doing the video, even though you might say, hey, Triggervar, your videos suck because none of your rounds work. Well, true, but I'm trying to prove a little bit of a point, is that the Bodyguard 2.0 is it perfect? No, it's not. It's perfect for concealed carry, but you have to find the right ammunition. This is why I have like 50 videos. Well, I'm exaggerating. I have 25 videos probably over 25 videos now showing ammunition in 380 ACP because it's kind of tricky. It's not the same as all guns. And yes, I am mad that Smith Wesson came out with this amazing design, but it doesn't run flawlessly. Shame on you, Smith Wesson. Again, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I mean, I've gotten a few options, but that's it. But I not from Smith & Wesson, but I think that they have some work to do when they come out, hopefully with a 2.1, they probably won't just do a rolling change, but they need some reliability, quality control improvements going on. All right, folks, that's my take. Hope everyone has a great week. Tell me what you think about 380 ACP with the Bodyguard 2.0, your experiences with it. Put in the comments below, and let's get to shooting.
From pistols to rifles
that we have today. Now good freaking grief. I think this was a gun range. Don't they know I'm trying to shoot a video? But first you have to put a round in the chamber. It will never work, to be clear, without a round in the chamber. And I also showed in the previous video that this ammunition is a couple hundreds longer. And I did show in a previous video that this ammunition is a couple hundreds. Oh my god, freaking, I've got an airplane, we've got gunfire in the background, what the heck? Like, what the freak is going on today? Alright, okay, here's a quick take a look. Here